Today on Vintage Steel Garage I'm going to show you how to replace your Porsche gear lever with an aftermarket quick shift lever. So this is the Porsche 986 quick shift kit lever. I bought this off eBay for about £30, so let's open it up and have a look what it looks like. So let's see what we've got. So we've got the lever itself, which seems to have a little bit of play in there, but we can have a look and see what we can do with that. The rest of the quality doesn't look too bad really for what it's cost, and it's replacing a nylon one. Yeah, I'm not too keen on, don't know if you can hear. We'll see, there's a little bit of wobble in there. Let's see what we can do. I'm not even sure if that bend on the lever is correct. Seems quite a lot of bend that. That's actually bending over that way, which is towards the passenger side. I suppose that could be the issue between whether it's for a left-hand drive or a right-hand drive car. So we might need to take the lever out and turn that round. These are the cups that are at the end. Now these are the parts that wear on the standard one. These are all nylon inner and outer onto here. Let's see. Right, let's have a look on the car and look at that one. So just comparing this shifter to the aftermarket shifter. Let's just zoom a little bit. Just comparing the two, you can see this one, because this is a right hand drive vehicle, UK vehicle, the lever actually leans over towards the driver. Now on the one I've got, it leans over towards the passenger, so I'm thinking that was probably designed for the left-hand drive market. So the first thing I'm going to do is see if I can actually swap the lever around in the other one, because obviously if I can't turn it round, it's a bit of a non-starter. So let's see if we can do that first of all. So I've taken this shifter apart, and it does appear that we can take this lever out. That's going in that orientation like that with the pivot to this side, and we can turn it round. So it's obviously been sold on eBay for a left-hand drive vehicle, but it can easily be reversed from that, which is a left-hand drive. Obviously this is pointing towards the driver in a left-hand drive vehicle, and in a right-hand drive vehicle it's now pointing to the driver. So that's easily be done, so I'm happy with that. So I'm going to start stripping it out, and a lot of that really is, let's just zoom out a little bit, it's a lot of clips and things that need to be removed. It seems to be mainly a 20 torque screw, so first things to do is start taking bits and pieces out. There's a couple of torque screws in here to remove. Take the switches out, the electric windows, and that will pull out now. Some connections on the back to disconnect. Just got one for the light. So black was driver's side, white is passenger side. That'll be interesting not to get that wrong. There's a couple under the rubber mat in here. There's one here under the rubber mat. You can quite see that. Just underneath the rubber mat there's one here, which isn't a 20 torque, that must be a smaller one still. Okay, let's try this one. That's the correct size there. So there's one underneath where the switches are, There's one at the back of the glove box. There's one, I believe, under this coin holder, which we need to get out. I can work out how that comes out. Now we'll come back to that. Take the side bits off on the console. You just really need to get hold of the side of them, give them a good yank, and they're off. Get that plastic at the front. There. Got to be some more somewhere around here. Okay, so this is actually a coin slot, and I didn't know that. Must admit, I don't think I'll be putting any coins in there. So I've just got to understand how this pops out. There, like that. And that reveals another screw. And you can see, let's get it in. So just underneath here there was this little coin rack, which you can obviously put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can have £7 in there, €7. So that comes out of there, and that reveals another clip here. Right, so let's see where we are now. Still doesn't feel like it wants to come out, so there must be some more screws somewhere else around here. Taking this cluster out, there's just 2 screws, one either side. The carpet panel's off. Oh, it's all getting messy, this. A couple more screws back here. Bit out the other side. So I've got that screw out that side. This should come out, good. Aha! There's another screw under here at the back. So there we go, console coming out. No, that's definitely going to help being up. There we go, console removed. So, we're now seeing the actual gear linkage itself. Do we find any pound coins down here, anything that's gone missing? A screw there, that's interesting. Makes you think someone's been in here before. Bit of a pop tap. Yeah, we'll have to see where that screw comes from. Okay, I'll put that on one side. So now you can see the shifter mechanism is held in place with 4 10mm nuts. So let's just take this cover off. Now these are the adjuster cables, so this one you can see, if we just zoom in a little bit, how it works. So you've got 2 cables. The blue one here is working for the left to right, and the black one, so this is deciding really if you're first to third, first second, third, fourth, and then that's first. So we go through the gears, first, a second. So we don't need to take any of these off. We just need to take these clips off here to get these cables out. We're going to mark the positions of these because these are adjustable at this point. So I just want to mark these so I know where they're going. And then we can take this shifter housing out. So first of all, these clips need to come out. So we're just going to mark where these cables go so they get the adjustment right when they go back in. So we can see where that is, and then we can just pop these cables out. So to get the cables out, you basically push forward and just rotate, and then the cable will lift out. And then we can take it out of this housing. So that's 2 cables out. Just a 10mm socket now to release this out the car. Okay, so there we go. We can now lift the housing out and take a look at it on the bench. So I've now got the old shifter alongside the new shifter, which obviously I've had to take to bits to convert it from left to right hand drive. So let's just take a look at this, see how it compares. Just want to make sure before I fit this I'm happy that the pivot in here is similar size and a good fit. Yeah. What we have to do is break some of the clips on here to take this out. So it's a bit of a sort of a non-returnable idea. So this is what we just got to be careful with. Just one more bit that needs taking apart in here, which is this selector that needs pushing out. You just basically push a pin out, so this is removed. What I don't want to do is actually damage the plastic. Right, so that's that pin out, and you cut the tabs. Now this seems a bit ugly, but seems to be the way to get it out. Right, I've got that out. I've got to say I'm not proud of that. That was quite ugly and abusive to get that out. There's got to be a much better way of doing it than what I just did. It just seemed, well, not right. It just seemed to be forcing everything. So let's see if we can get this one out without having to do that. I think that's going to be a no. Same this side then. Right, so it would appear now we have the gear lever out. We have wrestled it out. We just need to get that clip out of there. See these clips we're trying to get out here. I think you can hear them flying down the garage. Oh, come on. There you go. I won. Right, clips are out. We're now obviously at the point of no return, which is fantastic and reassuring. Now this is what we're replacing with this. So we just need to rebuild this arm back in to here. I've now rebuilt this back again. What I didn't show or mention, and I should mention rather, is inside this shaft in the middle is actually a bearing race. So there is a bearing race on a pivot here, but it wasn't greased at all. So even if it does come and it's the right hand for your vehicle, I suggest you strip this down, take these 2 bolts off. There's a pin that slides out, and grease it up, and then it's a much smoother action. Taking out a little bit of play that was there, it feels a lot more precise. So let's carry on with the rest of the rebuild. So what we're going to do now, this is going to go back in here, and this is just going to run in here now. This port, it had a little square and a smaller pivot. You can see the smaller pivot there, and that ran and slid up and down in that block like that, whereas now it's just going to be this round ball in here, which I'm not sure if that's better or worse, but we'll see. So that just wants to be greased up as well, and then this can go back in. So you're going to put a bit of copper slip round here, probably load a little bit more up once it's gone back on. So it's now the hokey cokey of getting this reassembled in there like that, ready. Now there's one of these either side. I can leave that like that, to be honest. It's got a little groove in it there, a little slot. You see that groove? That groove there at the bottom, and that groove also goes into a groove in the bottom of the housing. So we'll push that in. We'll just do a bit of a dry fit first of all. So the slot's at the bottom, and that's gone in there like that. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm just going to take these back out, put a bit of grease in the end of them. So that's that one in greased. Take this one out. Place that in. Right. So we now got them both in. There's these little circlips that go in, which go into these grooves here. One in. Two in. Now these can be used to adjust the end bit. So this is adjusted for the play, just to take the plate out the lateral movement of the shaft here, backwards and forwards, which, if I'm honest, at the moment is very little. So what I might do is back these off, move the shifter around a little bit, and then just snug them up at the end. Just get that central. I'm just going to nip it up, try it, and then just back it off a little bit. just nip these up, these are just 19mm. There we go. So I've got to say, just on here, it does feel better, it does feel tighter already. Remember to put that pin back in for this arm, and let's hope I haven't got to the point where I can't now get it in. Just line that pivot up there. Did have some special plastic grease on it, but I haven't got any of that, so good old copper slip. So it goes back in there. Oh, just make sure that I nearly made an error. Just make sure that the cable, it's one of these ones where you struggle around with it for ages and all of a sudden, whoop, there it'll go. Just make sure that is sticking out of here before you put the pin back in, as I nearly didn't. Right, so once that's back in, that's lined up there. Let's push back in there, so that feels, to be honest, that does feel pretty good. There was a lot more sort of up and down play in it, and that has now gone. So I'm feeling positive so far. There, so that's that on there. So it's now rebuilt, ready to go back in. So I've now got the gear lever ready to go back in. Took about 20 minutes on the bench. It's all adjusted up, all ready to go. Let's get this back in and see how it performs. That just simply sits on those studs. So the console goes back in, just held in place with 4 bolts, which are 10mm socket. These back in and onto these original lines that we had. There. Right, let's put those back. Right, what wasn't clear was this plastic, green plastic bit was catching underneath this cable here, and it kept pushing it back up. So I've took that off and it now seems okay. These are all clipped back in. These are back into the original location. So I've got neutral, first, second, third, fourth, reverse and fifth. Does actually seem a lot better. There's a lot of play gone out of it. Feels a lot tighter. Now I didn't measure the position before, and I probably should have done. Sorry. I didn't measure the position before of the gear lever, but that's neutral, that's first. It was probably over here. That's second. So if that's second, that's first. I've probably reduced the travel by 50%, I'd say. So it does now feel a lot tighter, and I do like that. So let's get all the console back on. Hopefully that's, as they say in the instructions, the opposite of removal. And let's see how that goes. So there we go, all the console back in. gear lever back in. Seems a shame to cover it up really, doesn't it? The anodised aluminium seems to be okay. Reduced a lot of play. I'm going to put it back on and take it for a road test. So, just got back from a test drive in the Porsche. Fair to say, massive improvement. It's well worth the money. The kit was only £35. Took about an hour to fit. 20 minutes to get the console out. 20 minutes on the bench. 20 minutes to put the console back in maximum. You can sit there and try and gauge if it's reduced it, but you can only really tell when you're driving it and you're not actually looking at the gear lever. And I can safely say going from first to second is like going from first to neutral, so it's sort of cut the movement from first to second, third to fourth by about 50%. So instead of moving your arm now, it's more just sort of snick your first, second. Feels a lot better. Maybe a little bit stiff. I might have to slacken off a little bit, but I just don't want it to bed in, see how it goes. By the way, I think I prefer these wheels. I think they look a lot better. I think they look a lot better than the other ones, so that's an improvement. Need to get back on this, do some more work on this. But for now, Porsche is thumbs up. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll be doing some more work on this and the Porsche soon. Thank you.